So yeah, this is very not organized, by the way. It's gonna take forever to edit. Vancouver, Toronto. Hi, I'm Micki, and this is gonna be my channel. Am I too old to start a YouTube channel? Maybe. Am I not qualified for this? Maybe. Am I funny enough for this? I don't know. To be determined. So I'm a musician. I went to UBC in Vancouver for violin performance. I did 4 years in school. I have a degree. Vancouver is beautiful. I grew up in Alberta, so coming to Vancouver was like a breath of fresh air. There's the ocean, there's the mountains. Like I could just go on and on and on about how amazing Vancouver is, okay? The only thing is that, you know, post-grad, I got a job working at a few music studios. I had a couple other jobs going. I had a couple corporate gigs going. I started sailing, which was great, in the ocean. Oh, it was amazing. It was really good, okay? Anyhow, post-grad, year and a half has gone by. I'm sitting in my basement suite in Vancouver, all alone, and I'm thinking, what am I doing with my life? I go to my job, you know, it's raining, I come home, I watch, you know, some Grey's Anatomy, you know, some whatever, make dinner, and then like I try to be creative, but you know, when you're teaching as like a music teacher, your teaching hours are usually like, you know, 2 to like 9 p.m. or like 10 p.m. You know what I mean? So it's like by the time you get home, I don't really feel like being creative, and in the mornings I'm kind of lazy, so I don't really like, you know. And I was working a few different jobs in the mornings too, so I didn't have time to practice. So this is how this happened. One day, I was in a practice room at UBC. I went there sometimes to practice, even though I was graduated. Lovely facilities. And I just thought to myself, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? That lovely question. I feel like I'm having like a quarter life crisis, even though I say that like all the time. I really don't like the idea of being an adult, having to deal with the real world. You know what I'm saying? So, So yeah, in that practice room, I had a breakdown and I decided I need to start doing more things. I need to start gigging more. I need to start, you know, I need to finish these projects I've been working on, put myself out there more, and, you know, talking to a few musician friends of mine about this, they're saying, hey, you should move to Toronto, there's a way bigger scene there, you'll love it, it'll be great. So, this is what I've heard from people. That it's a bigger city. If we're thinking about this logically, the scene would be bigger in Toronto because it's a bigger city. And in Vancouver, a smaller city, the scene would be smaller, right? Let me just break this down for you. Okay.
In Vancouver, we got some mountains, we've got ocean. I was sailing in boats, can you see this? So we have the mountains, the ocean, we have a lot of trees. There's a lot of trees happening there. And you know, as a person living there, you're sitting here on the beach, and you're like, whoa. Okay, this is what you're like. And then you see over here, okay, I'm gonna draw.
I'm not an artist, okay? I'm a musician, not an artist. This is Vancouver for you, let me explain. This is you. Wait, this is you. You're on the beach, and you're saying, whoa, cool, because there's the ocean and sailboats, trees, and mountains, okay? But then, you know, it's a rainy Saturday night, and you decide, I'm gonna go out to this really cool, like, place, restaurant, maybe have some food, and then you see this. And you say, nice, wow, that's cool. You know, it's not as cool as like the ocean or, you know, some other stuff that you can do. It's not like skiing at Whistler, but it, you know, it's all right. So, and then this is how I view Toronto. This is what people tell me. This is how I see Toronto. It's a concrete jungle, but there's music literally everywhere. Do you see this? Okay, so long story short, I was like, F it, I'm moving to Toronto. Basically had my epiphany. Same day, I messaged my landlord that I would be leaving. That week, I quit all my jobs, and the next week, I moved out of my current place of residency into my mother's house so I could organize my things and decide what I would take with me to Toronto. I booked my flight. I decided that I would be a minimalist. I did the whole Marie Kondo, you know, thanking my stuff and throwing it away. I mean, donating. I mean, you know what I mean. So I did that whole thing where I, you know, parted with some things, and I decided I would only take some of my instruments, my clothes, and some of my audio equipment. To fit these things in these 2 suitcases was a struggle. Not gonna lie. I mean, some people told me, you know, you should FedEx some stuff. You should, you know, mail some stuff to yourself. Like, you should mail things to yourself. I did some research, but it all seemed a little bit too complex for my mind. So I thought, you know, wouldn't it just be easier if everything was on the same flight as me? You know, one kind of transportation, like we would just all go together. I just wanted to bring all my things at the same time to make things easier. Is it easier? Well, I learned that it isn't easier. Both bags were overweight, and they were gonna charge me like $200 for a third item, which was the guitar, which I wanted to gate check, but they didn't know what gate checking was, so I had to explain it to them. I managed to put some things into my guitar and violin cases to get the bag within the weight limit, but then like my guitar was so heavy. Yeah, so I got on the plane, flew here, and I decided that I was gonna Uber. I downloaded Uber and Lyft in the airport. I looked up how much it would be. It was gonna be like $50 to get from the airport to my place. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be a big girl and I'm gonna get on transit and I'm gonna, you know, figure out how the, you know, the subway works and the trains and all that jazz, and I will find where I live from the airport, because that's a good thing to know, isn't it? Looking back, I really should have just taken an Uber. Subway stations, it's hard to find where the elevators are and where to go. Like I was on I don't know what they're called. I was on one like train thing, and then I transferred to a subway, and you can imagine I had my violin, my guitar, I had a hockey bag, and I had put my other instruments inside of these pieces of luggage, surrounding with clothes and stuff for packing. It was a mess. So walking on the streets of Toronto with all of that while it was snowing in January when it's cold was not the best idea. I learned. But I did end up almost making it. I was about 2-ish blocks from the apartment building, and a couple walked by and saw me struggling with, you know sidewalks. Every time there's one of those cracks in the sidewalk, I had to like lift up my suitcase and my violin so that I wouldn't go face first into the concrete. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to that couple who helped me. Thank you. Very kind, very, it just made me feel like people in Toronto are really nice, and that was nice. So I got here. I'm excited. I need a job. I'm excited because, I know some people here who want to start a band. But other than that, I want to get I have a jazz trio. I want to get that going. I want to start gigging. I want to start performing. I have a lot to figure out. So the first thing I did was get Wi-Fi, and the guy comes to set it up. We start talking. He's like, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Oh, Vancouver." And he's like, "Girl, why would you move here? Like, you're in Vancouver. I've always wanted to live there. Like, you guys, it's cold here. Like, do you realize this?" And I was like, That's Vancouver. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I'm here. I'm a musician, so I'm trying to, you know, take advantage of the city. He understood, but it also made me think, how can I leave this? How can I leave this? I won't see this anymore. There'll be no more of this. No more mountains. No more fresh air. Honestly, I've been here like a couple days now, and I wake up with a sore throat. I think it's the air quality. It must be. Like, what else? I haven't really changed my diet or anything. So, yeah, so that's something. But, you know, maybe I'll like Toronto. Who knows? Feel free to follow along my journey in Toronto. Oh, wait, let me cat. This is a cat. So, there's this cat that sometimes, like, comes over. He meows at the door. I think lives on this floor or something. But it's kind of nice. I don't know the name, but I'm pretty stoked about this. Are you stoked about this? We're stoked.